my dear Virgos. This is your love and spirituality reading for the mid-month of June 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting and subscribing to my channel. I have put astrological information for the month of June in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. The reading can go both ways. The message is for the people who watch it, so if you cross-watch for another sign and recognize yourself as the main person in the reading, just trust your own intuition and you will get the message you need. For this reading, I used the Osho Zen Tarot by Deva Padma. I have been using it since 1995, and many of you have asked how I have learned to read tarot in the way I do. This deck has been my main source of inspiration together with Crowley's Tot Tarot. It is working with the wisdom of Zen and can be used together with cards with Zen stories to get an even deeper knowledge of your situation. I will make a shorter 5-card spread to make it more digestible for you. And now I will start shuffling your cards. So, my dear Virgo, what's going on with you? We have fighting here. It's Knight of Swords, and we have ordinariness, 8 of Pentacles. So it seems like you are in a situation where there's kind of no cooperation, and it's very hard for you to enjoy yourself because all your energy is going to this particular situation that's not working out. And it's we can see this that with this Knight of Swords, it's an energy of having a very smart and clever mind, like very very quick into also jumping into conclusions. So it might be that you have a little bit of a fight going on in your head. Maybe you are talking with another person in your head and saying, oh, why did you do that? And how could this how could you do this to me? And what did you mean with doing this and this? And then maybe the person answers you in your head and you quarrel back and forth like this. It's a good thing, okay, so don't worry, write it down. It might be that you're actually having a quarrel with this person on a 5th dimensional level, but it's also making you very anxious and nervous. So write it down, the conclusion of it all, that if this person is saying this is my standpoint in it all, so you know, because this it can be like angel radio. You are sent down a thought about a situation that will actually later occur, and then it's good that you have put some thought into it. But it's not good if you are tormenting yourself with arguing with people in your head. So argue, write down the conclusion, leave it, stay with your body, okay? Go back to, you know, ordinariness, find your balance again, find your find joy in life again, doing ordinary chores, the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis. And if there comes up new thoughts about this fight or this situation that you're in, write it down again. Maybe you can have something on your phone, maybe notes on your phone, or you can speak into your phone, or you can have a like a block to write things down, and a pen in your pocket or in your purse or something, so you can always give it attention, but then leave it as quick as possible so you can go back to feeling grounded and secure and not in a stress mood where you are arguing with someone that might not even be there. This can also be like a person in your life constantly disrupting your situation, or this the work situation that you have, or disrupting your ability to do your chores at home because it's constantly arguing. So we will see if it comes a solution for that too, because it's a little bit more hard than just having quarrel in your head. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the source, Ace of Wands in reverse together with fighting. So it seems like it's kind of an aggressive situation. It can be an aggression turned towards you, or you being angry with someone. If you are very angry with someone, it's like taking poison and, you know, getting poisoned yourself. It's not going to help really. You need to understand that every person in your life that's here and rubbing you the wrong way, they wants to show you something where you're still not healed. So be grateful, but still have your boundaries. Don't let anyone step over your boundaries, but you don't have to keep them there with aggression. But aggression is like a higher frequency than, for example, depression or sadness. So if you have been depressed and sad and now becoming aggressive, so kudos to you, it's a good thing. Okay, so but this is a person being angry and wants to put up a fight and don't want to work together with someone, like with the 8 of coins in the reversed. Okay, so I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we see the reason to why this person act like this. There's always a reason to why a person act like in a certain kind of way, but even if they are delusional, but they have a trauma or a sadness inside of them that makes them believe that the world is out to get them. So this can be Virgo, of course, thinking that the world is out to get you, and that you're repeating like a cycle of trauma in your life because you have sad memories of things and you expect it to repeat. It's like when a cat get kicked when it's out on the street outside its house. Then it will be very scared for strangers, for people that comes down the street, because it believes that it's going to be kicked. Maybe it was just one person in 10,000 that would have done that thing to the cat, but the cat will be afraid of the all 10,000 people. And this is kind of what I see here. Even if it's just 1 out of 10,000 that will hurt you like this, you are treating everyone in the same way. You are equally afraid of everyone, that they will come and do this to you. So what needs to happen with both you, the cat, or maybe if it's another person in your life that's being this very suspicious and traumatized, is to putting up better boundaries. No, don't go and talk to any stranger. You don't want to be kicked. You wait until you can trust the person, and then you open yourself up and being vulnerable. Everyone else needs to have see your boundaries, and you need to keep yourself not on an arm's length distance, but you don't go and tell the world of your deepest, rootest problem. You only tell this to the people that you know really cares about you. So it's also who you open up to. So if you make bad choices and trust people that's not really trustworthy, you need to change that, because it's often like this. If we have gotten traumatized in a certain kind of way, we will find people that's just like that, so we can repeat the trauma and repeat the trauma and repeat the trauma. Why we are doing this is because it's like children playing car accident over and over. It's to detach from the situation and not feel that it's so hurtful anymore. And you will succeed with this too. Eventually, you will not be upset with a person acting in this way. You will just see, okay, so it's not personal, it's about them. They have some issue inside of them. I can help them if they want me to, but as long as they believe me to be the villain, I can't really do anything about this situation. So instead of trying to make a very aggressive person loving you and treating you right, you now see them for what they are. Okay. So I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading. I have the rebel here. It's the emperor, so it's about boundaries, being stubborn, protecting your own kingdom, keeping people on an arm's length distance until you know you can trust them, things like that. Believing in yourself, being very, very stubborn. okay, and breaking old conventions or social rules that just keeping you shackled in a submissive state, okay. So, clear view reading for my dear Virgo viewers. So, I want my dear Virgos to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have, and this is the mind again, creative success, maturity. Yes, this is a good thing. Ace of Pentacles. Creative success and be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so the Page of Wands is in the reverse. It's like this cat being very like suspicious towards other people, and being very awake and aware and looking for signs of a person are about to do something wrong. And it seems like this might, you need to put a lot of light into this situation, because it might actually be helpful for you. If you start to see when things go south, if you start to see how you are reacting to people's different approaches to you, you learn more and more. So if you stay a little bit suspicious, you stay a little bit awake and aware, and then you can actually change this, what's going on with the Ace of Pentacles. It's like a new chance. Instead of just being upset and feeling victimized and why are all these people acting like this, you start to see them for what they do, and you will get experience enough so you will be able to tell them before they kick you. Okay, you will say, don't come here and kick me. So I'm thinking this is what's happening, because maybe Virgo has been very oriented towards spirituality and unconditional love and understanding, being very altruistic, and maybe now you need to sharpen your claws a little bit, not to be aggressive. Maybe if you aggressive is the next state, like, you know, depressed, sad, angry, then it's a good thing. But you don't have to be aggressive. You just have to put boundaries. Okay, so I'll tune in to you, Virgo, and your energy for a few seconds. Okay, so for Virgo, mid-month touch up. Here we have it. Okay, so this is your reading. I will do a 5-card spread, and this first card is you, or the situation that you're in, and this is your past, and this is your future. Here we have the past of any circumstance, situation, or people or person that you have been dealing with. So the outside forces past. It can be the divine also, what they have done to help you in the past. And this is the future of said circumstance, situation, person, or people, or the divine. Okay, so the first card here, you and your situation, you have integration. It's the Alchemist card. It's the same card that came for center as a center card for Leo. So the Alchemist card is a very good card. It's talking about you taking in your other side. So it was what I was talking about before. Maybe you have been very altruistic, and now you need to also be a cat with a claw. Okay, so you have been the swan, unconditionally loving, and need to become more the eagle, more suspicious, more watchful, more awake and aware, not more like a predator than a prey. It might be for some of you the other way around as well. For people that hasn't gone a spiritual route before, they might actually be in a great state of aggression and need to take more unconditional love, need to get less of an ego and more of this like seeing that the other person is not a you. So this is about integrating your shadow, the things that you have been afraid of, the things that was the shouldn'ts in your life, the things that you were not allowed to do. Maybe you were not allowed to say no. Maybe you were not allowed to put boundaries. Maybe you were not allowed to speak up. Maybe you were not allowed to react or to talk or to say what you were, your side of things. So that's kind of the Page of Swords in the reversed, when we get passive aggressive because we don't feel the support from others to speak our mind. So we kind of say, well, what's it to you? Or something like that. So and we can be a marcher as well, because we feel deprived of our power. But here it's talking about taking back your power, not caring if people wants to hear your side of the story or not, but sharing it anyway, because your voice is allowed to be heard too. And you are allowed to follow your inner inspiration, okay, to become the person you are. You are not supposed to be something to please someone else. You are supposed to be your true self, and this is what's happening here. The Alchemist card is also the second card for love in the Major Arcana. So it's when we meet with another person and our demons play so well together. So what you see and kind of hate a little bit with the other person is usually your shadow that you need to integrate. So if you see that a person is maybe unreachable, they have high boundaries, they say no to everything, then it's probably what you need to take in. And if you see a person on the outside being over dramatic, clingy, so probably you need to connect with your emotions more. And usually we have like a perfect match. So one is the one thing and the other is the other thing, and both hold the keys to the other person's shadow. So what we need to do in this kind of situation where we are so attracted by a person that's totally different from us is to learn from them, and by that wakening up the dormant sleeping side of ourselves that's in the shadow, and thereby also becoming a whole person. Next Lover's card in the Major Arcana is 19, the Sun, when you have become whole, holy, and the holy matrimony. So when you have become, everything is integrated, and you are the person that you were supposed to be, your soul down in the body with a halo on your head or around your whole body. So you have gotten enlightened. So this integration card can mean that you are attracted by someone that might feel like they are not good for you. You don't see eye to eye. But there's a magnetic passion and attraction, like get great chemistry. 14 is 1 + 4 is 5, so it's connected to the High Priestess or Hierophant card. So it's about, this is my culture and this is my culture, and I battle you for your culture because it's bad and my culture is better. But eventually when we meet a new culture, we will learn their language, we will learn their culture, and we will start to understand each other, and we become as one. So this one culture and this one culture were 100%, but now they have expanded, so they are both 200% because they learned, they got fertilized by the other culture. So you can have a different culture than a person in your own family, like your siblings might be totally different from you, and you can't really communicate because you can't understand each other. Or it might be like people on the other side of the earth, it doesn't matter, but they are different to you, so you can't understand them. But when you rub off against them, eventually you will learn to understand them, and you will have expanded your awareness. You know more than you did before. You are more than you were before. So this is your past, and we have Beyond Illusion. So it's Judgment card in the reverse. So it seems like you have had a little bit of a poor judgment. You haven't been able to judge people or to have your authority to speak out for yourself, to see things from an eagle's perspective, or maybe you have had a hard time to see things from another person's perspective. It depends on what kind of it's like humanity has taken two different routes. One has been the more selfish, egoistic route, and they have learned all about boundaries, taking care of themselves, winning a war, taking power, getting ahead, okay? And the other has taken a more loving approach like Jesus, okay? And now these two are coming together and are supposed to learn from each other to heal humanity's broken heart. They went different routes to get different experience, and now they are supposed to come together and fertilize each other. So having a poor judgment, it means that you don't see the whole picture How could you? You have only one side of the experience, but now you are supposed to expand your awareness, your judgmental capacity, and be able to see things from another perspective. If you have seen things only from your perspective, you will now be able to see things from other people's perspective. If you only have seen things from other people's perspective, you will now be able to see things from your perspective. So that's that. And here's the future, and here we have trust. And it's Knight of Cups, so it means trusting your own emotion, getting to know your own emotion, getting to know your own language of love and your own language of intuition. So your emotions, good or bad, is talking to you and wants to be listened to. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust your own instincts. So you can ask yourself, how do I feel in this situation? And then communicate how you feel. If you are talking with a person, you need to have like one eye inside yourself to always see your reaction, and one ear listening to this person intensely and see what it is that you are reacting to. In the beginning, we can be a little bit unaware, so we can talk with a person and then suddenly feel like an uncomfortable feeling, and then we might need to back the tape up to see in what situation, what did the person say or remind you of that made you feel unease. So you start to to become more aware what is happening inside of you, so you don't let things like this slip away and being brushed underneath carpet. Also, if you feel very dramatic and sad, you communicate this. I feel very sad, I feel very disappointed, or I feel very happy, I feel very pleased with this. So you start to communicate yourself from who you are in your core. The core is, you can lie all you want and say, no, I didn't get hurt. But if you did get hurt, that's the truth. And that is what you need to communicate. Yes, I did get hurt in this situation. And I'm not going to let you hurt me again like this. So this and this is what's going to happen. And you state a boundary. Okay. So this is the situation of your circumstance, the past of your circumstance, situation, people or person that you have been dealing with. So some of you seems to have been dealing maybe with a Leo, since the Leo had the same card here. This is usually Aries, but can be a Sagittarius or a Leo as well. Queen of Wands, it's a very... I'm thinking this is what has been rising inside of you, becoming more aware of the balance. Queen of Wands, she loves other people. She wants to take care of them. She has a very beautiful warmth to her, but she also have the same warmth and caretaking towards herself. That is what's make her so radiant, because she just doesn't give the energy away. She also see too that she receives energy and that it's a flow, a balance. So this is probably what you have had to learn during the past periods from your outer circumstance. It's to also have respect for yourself, or for some of you, respect for others. It depends on what side of the heart you went, okay? So it's a very good card, talking about self-respect, talking about sharing. Also, like when you share your inside intuition, and you actually share your true soul spirit. So when you talk from the heart and express yourself truthfully, speak your truth, even if the voice shakes, okay, then you will be soul really having a great effect on earth, being the person that you are supposed to be. But it's going to require some kind of courage, and all the red here is passion and courage. Being able to express yourself no matter what, because you trust yourself, you love yourself, you know that you always try your best. So there's nothing wrong with you. Why should you be ashamed? Why should you hide? Okay. And also when we share ourselves like this, show our passion or show what we really feel, we also give the other person a chance to correct our mistakes, okay? So when we hide because we think maybe I'm wrong, maybe I have seen the situation wrong, we will always doubt, did we see it right? Was it wrong? Right, wrong, okay? So when we talk with people and said, this was how I saw the situation. They can correct our mistakes, or they can lie to our face, but then you will know, or it doesn't really matter. You have at least communicated yourself. When you communicate yourself, you clear your canal, the canal inside of you where light goes, like your own magnetic field, like this. It's like you are an apple and the middle is your canal, and then the energy radiates like this around the whole you. But when you have a lot of unsaid things and unfinished business and other things, it will be hard for the light to come through here and shine. So your magnetic field will be a little bit distorted. She has a beautiful magnetic field, so does this. The only thing you need to do is to become more aware, more awake of what's happening and your truthful reaction and giving them out to the world. And this is the future of said circumstance or situation. And we have sorrow here, 9 of Swords. So you need to become more aware when people hurt you, okay? And not hopefully not in a bitter way. It depends on where you are on the scale. As I said, anger is better than depression. This is depression, okay? So it seems like you might have avoided feeling depressed, or you might have avoided people to give people pain, or to give them like negative feedback, because you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to say something that will make them sad. But sometimes we need to rub people the wrong way so that they can also see where they still are hurting, and they can see where they need to where they still need to heal, okay? So 9 of Swords is a card, it's about Hermit, and it seems like we saw the Knight of Swords, and here we have the 9 of Swords. Both are Gemini. It might be that you're dealing with the Gemini, but most likely you have you and another person is bucking heads here, and it seems like both sides are hurting each other in some way, but the truth need to come out anyway, okay? So it doesn't matter if the words are hurtful. You need to communicate them anyway. You don't have to say you look ugly in those jeans. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about expressing yourself. I feel unjustly treated in this situation. I would want more communication or connection between us two. Even though you know that this is going to make this person upset or cranky because they don't want to be touched the wrong way. For example, a person that has deep commitment issues, they have it for a reason. They are scared, like this cat walking down the street. They don't want to open up to someone and then be kicked. So when you force them to talk about commitment and love and connection and communication, you will hurt them, because they will remember how they got kicked. They will get back to that time inside of themselves. But that is also opening the door so that they can heal. Okay, they can see that you are not here to kick them. You are here to love them. Okay, so I'll read the center card for you to see. It's the most prominent card in this reading. The center card is touching all the other cards, so it's very important. And here we have it. The image of integration is the unio mystica, the fusion of opposites. This is a time of communication between the previously experienced dualities of life. We saw that with the Knight of Swords card. The dualities was arguing with each other. Rather than night opposing day, dark suppressing light, they work together to create a unified whole, turning endlessly one into the other, each containing in its deepest core the seed of the opposite. The eagle and the swan are both beings of light and majesty. The eagle is the embodiment of power and aloneness. The swan is the embodiment of space and purity, gently floating and diving upon and within the element of water, emotions, entirely content and complete with her perfection and beauty. We are the union of eagle and swan, male and female, fire and water, life and death. The card of integration is the symbol of self-creation, new life, and mystical union, otherwise known as alchemy. The conflict is in man. Unless it is resolved there, it cannot be resolved anywhere else. The politics is within you. It is between the two parts of the mind. A very small bridge exists. If the bridge is broken through some accident, through some physiological defect or something else, the person becomes split. The person becomes two people. And the phenomenon is called schizophrenia or split personality. If the bridge is broken and the bridge is very fragile, then you become two. You behave like two people. In the morning, you are very loving, very beautiful. In the evening, you are very angry, absolutely different. You don't remember your morning. How can you remember? Another mind was functioning and the person becomes two people. If the bridge is strengthened so much that the two minds disappears as two and become one, and then integration, then crystallization arises. What George Gurdjieff will use to call the crystallization of being is nothing but these two minds becoming one. The meeting of the male and the female within, the meeting of yin and yang, the meeting of the left and right, the meeting of logic and illogic, the meeting of Plato and Aristotle. So it's not just a split inside of you, it's also a split on the outside of you possibly. And it might be sharing here is Aries. We also saw the Emperor, so it might be like a person and their male side being traumatized. Okay, so the male is being traumatized in some way and might have a hard time taking in their feminine side, being open, being vulnerable, so afraid that if they will take in their claws, they will get hurt. Okay, so they are the cat. I'm thinking it's a masculine person. It can mean like a feminine person with their masculine side very prominent, that is afraid to take in their feminine side, like sharing their light, sharing who they really are, being truly authentic. So you might feel that a person is lying to you or being non-authentic in some way, but they're actually just trying to cover up their hurt. So they are trying to avoid getting hurt again by having their claws out a little bit. So I will take Elena Fairchild's Sacred Rebel card, one card for you for the touch-up mid-month reading here. Going Beyond Normal was burning in my hands, so we'll take that. Oh, sorry. 14. And a light bulb, so you will get enlightened in some way here. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way. Trust. Even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a easier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. It is less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. Placing science and architecture above all else kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with the trust so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in your life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. There is a time and place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we most vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools, intuition, feeling, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. The flowing inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basic in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science or logic and strict planning. And I'm thinking here that both are equally important. So if you have been taking the heart route and being very emotional, and you need to become more logic. And if you have been very logic, you need to take in your other more intuition, trusting what you just know without having any explanation for it. So both these ladies comes with the light. So it's going to be an enlightening moment, even when pain arises, because pain is just a signal. Look, here I'm hurt. I can't talk about this because it's too difficult for me. Okay, so we talk about that because we want to heal you. We focus on that. We stay with that. We don't hide from it. If you are hurt here, if you are so afraid of going into the darkness, I will hold your hand while you do it. So don't avoid this, and don't let other people avoid it either. If you love them, show them the way, okay? Because a person can act very aggressive and distorted and traumatized and being like impossible to live with because they don't want to touch their hurt places. And now it seems like you need to guide them with the light through this, or someone else will do this courtesy to you. Okay, my dear Virgo, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care of yourself, and I welcome you back to my July reading that I will perform in the mid-June. Okay, bye-bye.